Blood pressure, blood pressure, blood pressure. Mary Sheila here from BioYouth Labs, and I'm not trying to raise your blood pressure. I just want to talk about it and give you some more tips because it's such an important topic, right? We are 70% water. We don't want our waters to be pressurized. We want them to be flowing wonderfully through our body. And I'm going to talk to you about a tip that I think is so important because one of the things that happens with blood pressure is that it's so, the quality of our blood and our cardiovascular system is so affected by what we eat, right? So we have to be paying attention to what we eat, how, when, what, all of the whys. And really what it comes down to is making sure we're putting in good fuel, just like we put good fuel in for our cars. We want to put good fuel in because once the fuel goes in, the first place it goes into once it leaves our digestive tract is into our bloodstream, right? So there's a big effect. And so oftentimes high blood sugars, insulin resistance, diabetes, any kind of kidney disorder or the kidneys affected by high blood sugars, stress, and too much salt, too much sugar, all of that can affect our blood pressure, high cholesterol, right? So we really want to get a handle on it. And the best way to get a handle on it is to really look at and identify the foods that are the culprits for us. And also to identify, the intake of sugar and the cravings for simple refined carbohydrates, which are still sugar, even if it's salty chips or salty crackers, even if they're gluten-free, those are still going to turn into sugar really quickly. The chocolate in the afternoon habit, the other candy or cookies or whatever, we have to pay attention to those sources because they're all entering into the bloodstream and they can raise our blood pressure over time. And that's showing that things aren't working as well. And we want to lower that risk factor in the body. So one of the most important things we could do is what if we can eliminate those cravings, right? We know we shouldn't be eating that sugar or having that cake. We know we shouldn't be drinking that soda, or whatever it is that we're doing, or buying that bag of chips in the afternoon because we have that craving. We know that, but it's hard to sometimes resist that temptation. So one thing we can do is we can set ourselves up for success. We can set ourselves up for success first thing in the morning, at the beginning of the day, by having a good breakfast that includes protein and healthy fats and healthy fibers. That is going to set us up. The standard American breakfast, in my humble nutritional opinion, is dessert. Sweet cereals, sweet coffee drinks, pastries, breads, pancakes, etc. Even sometimes sweet smoothies can be too much sugar for some people. So we want to reverse that. And my simple motto is dinner for breakfast, okay? Savory, go savory, not sweet. Really emphasize the protein, the fat, and the fiber. And I'll have some more videos where I talk more about what that looks like. But for now, I just want to say, set yourself up for success. When you have a sweet breakfast, what happens is your blood sugar will rise and then it will fall. And that is all happening in our bloodstream, in our cardiovascular system. That's where the connection between blood pressure and our sugar intake and carb intake really shows itself. So have a savory breakfast, have adequate protein so that rather than this happening in your blood, it's like this, you're setting a foundation for the day. And the more you set that foundation, the less cravings you're going to have. Because if you're going like this all day, your body's like, just give me more sugar. It needs it to stabilize. It needs it to feel safe. It needs it to boost those levels, those blood sugar levels that may have dropped, boost them back up. So go for the savory breakfast. Have the breakfast. If you're intermittent fasting and it's working well for you and you're not having a lot of cravings later in the day, great. If you're intermittent fasting and it's not really working for you and you're like eating everything and you're having a lot of cravings later on in the day, bring breakfast back. You can always end your fast earlier in the afternoon, evening, after dinner, and you can still do a nice fast, which is good for the metabolism, but bring breakfast back, bring back the protein, have a good breakfast and see what happens. It's not going to be like, oh my gosh, I hate breakfast. I didn't crave anything. It might not be that quick of a fix, but over time, you're going to stabilize it, right? We are what we repeatedly do. There's a good quote there. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. So build that habit of a good savory breakfast. I know I said that a lot of times in this video, and then watch it kind of balance itself out. And honestly, that is also a ticket to a good night's sleep, which also lowers blood pressure. So we're kind of hitting a few things at once. I have a good friend who's another practitioner, and she heard me talk about this once, and she changed up her breakfast. She said, you know, ever since I started having a more savory breakfast, I don't crave the chips that I have in the afternoon. And, you know, she's healthy, but she was still craving and giving into her chips cravings, which chips, we don't really want to be eating chips, you know, once in a while maybe, but they're not really good for us, even if they're organic or this or that. So bring it back, bring it savory, dinner for breakfast. Stay tuned for more about what that looks like and what that means, and make that a part of your healthy diet and your healthy day-to-day living. All right, I hope this helps. Let me know in the comments some of your favorite breakfasts or anything else you'd like to hear me talk about, and we'll continue the conversation. Have a great day.